They'll tell you who you are.
What you can't do.
Where you don't belong.
But with the right people at your side, you write your own story.
You don't wait for success, you chase it. Sharper, tougher, faster, with every lap.
And when you give everything you've got, you don't just win. You inspire what comes next.
Unveiled at PRI, 5-Star introduced an all-new sprint car body engineered using advanced CFD aero analysis, validated through on-track testing using real-time airflow data.
There's no reason why anybody will want to run anything else than this 5-Star sprint car body.
Designed to fit Maxim, XXX, Schnee Lawson, JR1, J&J, DRC, Spike, and more. 5-Star's all-new sprint car body. The new standard in sprint car technology.
Every lap, every race, every bit of paint traded for every hard-fought place. Every checkered flag and trophy raised. Every ounce of dirt, sweat, and gears. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy. Go ahead, open up a can.
DIRTVision presents World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
The best drivers, the best coverage. DIRTVision is home to the greatest shows on dirt.
Money talks. And this weekend, it is screaming from the Huset Speedway in Brandon, South Dakota. The highest paying event of the year has drawn some of the best sprint car drivers on the planet here. Standing in their way is Buddy Kofoid, one of the World of Outlaws' finest. When the tour rolls onto the high banks, the California star seems to find another gear. But big money brings big pressure and a hungry field ready to take their shot. One track, one massive weekend with one question. Can anybody stop Buddy when the stakes are at their highest? The Huset's High Bank Nationals are next on DIRTVision. 6 years ago, the parcel of ground you are about to see was an abandoned speedway with an uncertain future. While almost everybody looked at the Huset Speedway as a closed racetrack, Todd Quiring saw opportunity. Now Huset Speedway stands as the home of the highest paying weekend in sprint car racing, and it all begins with the preliminary night of the hefty seed Huset's Hustle. Good evening, race fans, and welcome to this 4-day race weekend with a purse just short of $1 million. Total can go to the 7th digit thanks to a unique bounty, depending on Saturday night's main event winner. Don't worry, About all those details, they will come throughout the show today and throughout the weekend. Let's just take it, though, day by day, beginning with today. Welcome to pre-race from the DIRTVision studio. I am Dave Reef. You know, what's at stake this evening? Well, first, it is the first of two $20,000 to win prelim events. Tonight sets up Thursday's lineups to get you a $150,000 first place prize. Friday will do the same for Saturday's High Bank Nationals and its $300,000 winner's share. And while it is unique for its purse, you also, though, must master a format that rewards consistency and survival. You simply can't just show up and win the feature because every lap, every position, and every decision matters thanks to a point system. It begins with competitors drawing into one of two groups of qualifying. The better the time, the higher the points. From those, heat racing with inverts in the first 2 or 3 rows, depending on the size of the field, will award more points. The top 4 in points from each group then will redraw to start the first 8 spots in the A main. The remaining lineups, the tail of the A, the last chance showdown, and of course the C features will all come from those numbers that get you more numbers, with the finish of each awarding more. When it's all said and done, the day 1 point total is what we will use to set the stage for Thursday action. So every time you're on the racetrack, it matters. Does it sound like a lot to keep track of? Well, no problem, because of the DIRTVision dashboard, we do all the math for you in real time. Live points tables during the race, who's in, who's out of each feature, the race results, the live lineups calculated right at the moment, all in the instant. It's check, make all right there. Plus, of course, all the standard dashboard features. If it's not on a second device that you currently have right now, well, I'd highly encourage you to get it set up, like right about now. A race of this magnitude, nearly every top World of Outlaws driver and many of the best regional and national sprint car racers are entered. But despite a field that is once again loaded, now there is a feeling around Huset's Speedway that, well, there's going to be a repeat in history, because as the money gets bigger, Buddy Kofoid seems to get better and better. The immediate question that begs is, why has the Pen Grove, California native been so good on the Huset's high banks? Well, it starts with his style. He's a driver that can attack the cushion, quickly adapt to the changing track, and of course make that split-second decision at a high pace of speed. Patient when he needs to be, aggressive when he has to. He can also find speed where others can't. You might think that the momentum comes from his first win with the World of Outlaws back in 2022 when he wasn't even on the tour, but it was the devastation of a 2023 mechanical malfunction and missed payday that really lit his fuse. Since then, the 24-year-old's been on a tear. 3 six-figure wins combined with another score late last year and again earlier last month. Well, that makes his total of 6 wins at the Huset Speedway worth more than $500,000. Earlier, Connor Wade caught up with Buddy Kofoid.
Well, Dave, Buddy Kofoid backed up his win in last year's High Bank Nationals and in September by starting off 2026 at Huset's with a win whenever the Outlaws were here on Memorial Day. Buddy, June in Huset's, it's kind of a holiday week for you by now, right?
I don't know. Hopefully I can keep making a habit out of it, but no, just like I said, I don't know. We've just been taken to it really well, and I just feel extra confident here, and I know our car's always going to be there. It's really just up to me to figure it out, and hopefully we can just keep the run on than what we've had. So
they brought in a little bit of new dirt this season at Huset Speedway. You told me back in May you didn't necessarily notice a huge difference. Do you expect to continue to not be able to tell a huge difference in this place versus years past?
So yeah, so like I said, so I watched that first local show prior to our race here, and it did look a little different. And then when we got on it, I think they probably prepped it different, and it felt almost identical to what I feel like we've been used to seeing. And then watched the local show the other day, and it looked a lot different. And I don't know, I feel like either way our car's going to be pretty good, and I feel like, you know, I'm comfortable enough to where I feel like we can kind of make it work if we need to.
With all the success you've had here the last couple of years, I know you don't take pressure from the outside. The only pressure you accept is pressure you put on yourself. Do you put pressure on yourself to back up the resume you've got already?
You know, I just want to run good. I just want to win, and just want to put ourselves in position to just keep getting better and ultimately chase the ultimate prize at the end of the year. And not that we have points this weekend, but I feel like speed that you have here can correlate to other places, and also when we come back when it does pay points. So I feel like there's a lot you can take away, you know, with the money, and then also for the future to be better, and you never stop learning. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm just excited, kind of anxious, but just want to get going.
1 year ago this week, he won $350,000. A sweep of the six-figure races would make it $450,000 this year for Buddy Kofoid.
No doubt a quiet assassin. He will be one to watch, as will the two-time and defending World of Outlaws champion, former High Bank Nationals champion, and the driver of the car owned by Huset Speedway owner Todd Quiring. You know, it would be easy to understand David Gravel rolling into South Dakota on a high, but he's not, and here's why. Well, as much as we use the recent history card to support Buddy Kofoid, let's do the same here. You know, for the two team, it's been 9 races since their last win as they search for the dominance that's defined David's career. Still solid, but, you know, solid's not the standard for Cody Jacobs and the team. Now they're in the boss's backyard where expectations are always sky high. The good news, though, is few drivers have it better at Huset's, and finding speed in the past hasn't been an issue, as witnessed by 4 wins, including the 2023 High Bank title. And with points out the window this weekend, we'll expect this team to change gears, go after his car owner's cash, and return to their winning ways.
Yeah, I know the format's a little bit different this year. I think a little bit more favorable for guys that qualify well, which I think here in years past, we haven't put ourselves in great position come the prelim nights. And, you know, come Saturday, we typically find our way up to the King of the Hill. But, you know, looking forward to the challenge. I think qualifying, we should be pretty good here. And being split qualifying as well, I think will make it a little bit more even no matter what you pill draw. So I feel like we got 4 days to figure it out to get a little bit better. I think everybody's searching to be a little bit better, chasing that 83. This is a car that we've been running all season. We just threw the Billion automotive body on here, and the car we've been really consistent with. So yeah, we're putting that behind us, and that was just an odd night with a lot of water on the racetrack and just a combination of things. So yeah, everything should be back to normal.
And you can expect David Gravel to just pop back into normal anytime very quickly. You know, if you've ever been or never been to Huset Speedway, well, shame on you. Trust me when I say it's a bucket list track that you have to come and see in person. To win here, a driver must assault the steep high bank corners and master a multi-wide groove surface. We're talking about slide jobs, crossovers, momentum swings, and daring moves in traffic. Well, go to your dictionary right now and tell me that is not the definition of Sheldon Haudenschild. And when it comes to the NOS Energy 18, they are rolling into a track that, as we discussed earlier, suits his driving style to a T. He is the hottest driver on tour with 5 straight top 5s, including 4 podiums in the KCP racing machine. Able to find victory lane in Plymouth just hours after Sheldon and wife Zan lost their beloved Husky Pella, the Ohio native easily garnered new fans and heartfelt condolences. For the ones that already know what the 3-time Huset's winner is capable of, it's always worth rewatching his 2022 High Bank Nationals win when he ripped from 6th to victory in the final 4 laps. Let's face it, the High Banks reward bravery, and nobody in the world of Outlaws attacks a racetrack quite like Sheldon.
Yeah, honestly, just be fast every night and put ourselves in position to be able to win. And, you know, I know we can do that here. So, yeah, just put all the pieces together, get a good qualifying lap in, and, yeah, just put the whole night together. I don't think anybody should be complaining, and, you know, makes it a little easier for the teams to be able to race 4 nights in one spot. And, you know, I enjoy it. You know, every car races every night, and, you know, not easy to win. And, yeah, that's what I enjoy. Big money races with all the top guys here. And honestly, I think me and the 83 are on par with each other. You know, I've had a couple races here I was leading that probably should have won and cut a tire or whatever. But yeah, obviously he's really good here and had a really good week here last year. But you know I can run with the 83 pretty easily, and it's just putting the whole night together.
Quiet in front of the camera, that man is an animal behind the wheel. But guess what? We've just touched the tip of the spear. That's all we've touched. And trust me when I say there's plenty more sharp storylines that will continue as we join Connor Wade live from Huset Speedway after this quick timeout. You're watching night number 1 of the Hefty Siege, Huset's Hustle on DIRTVision.
It's ARP fasteners for whatever you race. From 2 wheels to 4. Off-road, on-road, even water, from the flat track to the salt flats. Grassroots racers, weekend warriors, and pros alike trust ARP. Made in America quality, family owned and operated. When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com. No matter what you race.
trackwear, streetwear, workwear. No matter where you are, be race ready. Clothing brand built for fans, drivers, and crews.
Want more wins? Here's some tips. Brake late with our powerful titanium piston brake kits featuring our VRT Max rotor and all titanium hardware. Stay on track with the lightest, strongest, and safest rear torsion arm ever made in our exclusive AccuLength W-Link. Hold it all together with our huge selection of high-strength precision titanium fasteners boxed up custom for your car in part-labeled bags. Make the decision for precision. Smith Titanium. We winnovate.
Can I get 4 guavas? No, the big ones. Thanks.
Ignite your taste with new NOS Energy Grand Prix Guava. Buy it now at a store near you.
You wanted the best, you got them for a rest. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
From Washington, Connecticut, driving Huset Speedway, Toyota.com, Bronx real estate investors, KRT Transportation, Captain Motor Press number 2, the two-time of the fifth, World of Outlaws,
We got it all at shopdpr.com. We got koozies, t-shirts, crew necks, hoodies, die casts, pullback cars. We got everything. Check it out right here.
From days. Now the wait is finally over as the Tuesday golf tournament gave way to the Pizza Ranch parking lot party last evening. Circled on the calendar, the team's prepared, and now the fans have traveled across the country to bear witness to the High Bank Nationals weekend. Welcome back inside of our studios. Our pre-race coverage continues. You know, some of those fans are looking for the potential new breakout racer. Well, a few years ago, that was the aforementioned Buddy Kofoid, who has since become a star. Well, hoping to follow in his footsteps is a driver that maybe isn't just a household name yet, but that may not be true much longer for Columbia, Missouri's Garrett Williamson. Well, calling his 2025 rookie year a dream come true, Garrett spent his youth consumed of becoming a World of Outlaw racer. Convincing his boss to purchase a race-ready operation on Facebook Marketplace is what got his foot in the door. Well, since then, though, desire has taken over as he has made his way through the ranks, joining Fisher Motorsports for a pick-and-choose schedule. Last year, they turned it into a full pull. The result was a Kevin Gobricht Rookie of the Year campaign. Among the impactful laps leading up to that would have to be the multiple race wins at Huset Speedway before joining the World of Outlaws. Case in point, last year's the Saturday night pole sitter also registered 3 top 5 finishes and a podium at last year's High Bank Nationals weekend. Well, with a breakout win still to come, why not at this track? Why not at the track he cut his teeth on? Let's join Connor Wade and talk a little bit about Garrett Williamson, who would love to not only have as good a weekend as he had last year, Connor, he'd love to one-up it. Can he do it? think he can. I think some of the races we've seen out of Garrett Williamson the last couple of weeks have been some of the best races that he's ran in his career, most definitely with the World of Outlaws, but probably in all of sprint car racing as well. Obviously came close to a win with the series at Angel Park Speedway. Led over the first half of that race before a mistake on the restart cost him the lead. Mechanical failure a couple of laps later put his car straight into the wall and got upside down and did not finish. But you look at what he did with the Outlaws right before that race, made with Mark and Plymouth. A couple of weeks before at Knoxville on Memorial Day weekend, having a fast car, top 5 car, pretty much the entire night, even with high limit and needle. Garrett Williamson has found a lot of speed as of late, and continues to look towards that first World of Outlaws win. What better place to do it at? Like you mentioned, David plays that he has 2 career wins at before he was on the Outlaws Tour. Ever since he joined the Outlaws Tour, has been pretty good here as well. I remember the end of 2024, he was coming here, putting together a notebook to run full-time in 2025, and you can tell just by the way he made laps through this place, all right, he's hitting pretty good, and he's figuring out Huset Speedway, and this is definitely going to help prepare him to go full-time on the road with the Outlaws. You know, it's good to hear all that engine noise going on behind you. That lets us know we're, of course, getting closer to tonight's racing action. If you compare his start to this season to the start of last season, they're almost kind of mirror projections. Maybe he's a little bit ahead in some areas, maybe a little bit behind in other areas. With what's at stake for him this weekend, what's the one piece that you think maybe that this team is missing that keeps him from taking and making that next step up? Is there anything? Well, I guess the biggest thing that stands out is it's only year number 2. You know, I think nowadays, and honestly, I think people look at what Buddy Kofoid and Roth Motorsports have done in a very short amount of time together. Kofoid, his rookie year on the Outlaw Tour, at the end of the season was a favorite to win each and every night. Years 2 and 3, he's a championship contender. And I think people looked at the precedent that Kofoid and Roth set, and they think, okay, it's easy to go on the Outlaw Tour, and if we go on the road for 2 years, we should be winning races and championship contenders every single night. And that's just not the case. In the process, and considering it's year 2 and year 3 together for Derek Fisher Motorsports, I think they're doing all right. So nothing jumps out to me. You know, you obviously want to see them finish races. They struggled with that a little bit towards the end of last season, and even here at Huset Speedway, the only night they were not in the top 5, they tore a race car up and got upside down on the Thursday night portion of that weekend. So, you know, they're firing on all cylinders right now. I believe they switched over to this triple edge chassis about a month ago, and are figuring things out with it, and have shown significant improvement ever since then. So, Dave, I'm just going to be honest, I don't necessarily see anything glaring that holds them back. The more experience they get, they're going to win races. Well, the good thing, just like Buddy Kofoid, he found himself a team in Roth Motorsports. For obviously Garrett, it's Fisher Motorsports. What do you think it is about Fisher Motorsports that gives him the best opportunity to make that next step up? That's a good team. It's been out here a long, long time. Yeah, it has. You know, the Fisher family, they're from the Midwest, just like Garrett is. You know, even though Garrett wasn't driving for them, they kind of grew up, or Garrett grew up knowing who that company or who that family was, and I'm sure they knew who he was pretty early on, too. So Garrett's out of the car. We're going to catch up with him here in just a minute, Dave, and excited to hear his perspective on coming to Huset, a place that's been good to him, and also trying to be Buddy Kofoid, a guy that he's very familiar with. So as for that Fisher team, they've invested a lot in Garrett in this team, and they're being patient. They're doing all the right things, funding and support-wise. So I like what I see out of this organization, and I think they're setting themselves up for success. I know it's our intention to hear from Garrett Williamson. We'll give him just a little bit more time. Opportunity now to talk about the sunshine that's behind you. If the Huset High Bank National Weekend did get off to a rough start, I missed the interview show, but there was a big pop-up sell. What kind of damage did that do to this racetrack? Because it seems like we are still right on schedule, so it couldn't have been too bad. Yeah, we are. Officials saying that no delays tonight as far as start time goes. Everything's going to go on schedule. The flyover for opening ceremony is still planned for this evening. So the weather didn't hinder us too much. As far as the racetrack, took a quick look at it. You could tell it rained a little bit, but it didn't look like anything too crazy. They did a nice job. You know, and Huset's obviously preparing for any potential curveballs, and they've learned that at this place over the years. The weather is going to be a factor at most unexpected random times. They already were once the racetrack to be particularly slick early on in the night all week long. So I would say they already were kind of planning on that, and probably didn't water it as much. And this water that's this rain that came in probably doesn't hit things too much. I would say it's probably going to be pretty gripped up early on in the night, but in the grand scheme of things, I still think it slips off by the end of the night.
by the end of the evening, I doubt we even know a member of the pit range will get us.
I'm just glad we are here at this point. And while we continue to wait for Garrett, let's talk about another guy last year that's not named Buddy Kofoid or Garrett Williamson that really kind of made this Huset's High Bank weekend come into his own. And that, of course, is Bill Baylog. Bill hadn't quite been the season he's wanted so far, but you know, one of the things that a guy like him could use is exactly what he got last year, is a nice influx of cash. Can he do what he did last year again this year?
It'll be interesting to see. It's kind of a head scratcher for me. You know, Bill came in last year and was the second fastest car all week long, only behind Buddy. And, you know, obviously got wins not only at Huset's, but in Talladega and in California last year. So had definitely the best season he's had of his career in terms of traveling. And then this year it's just not gone how Baylog's wanted it to. You know, obviously he's dealt with some things off the racetrack. The passing of his longtime girlfriend, Natalie Klimko, but you know, on the racetrack, it's not been fun either for Bill. It's been stressful. He's not had the consistency, the top tens he's wanted, not made the dashes, not been in contention as much, and you know, whatever the case is, you know, Bill's still very much mentally and physically invested in it. He still very badly wants it. Just for whatever reason, it hasn't quite clicked this year. So Bill's a guy that he is in need of a paycheck. You know, a win on Thursday or Saturday night can definitely change his season, not only financially, but on the racetrack performance-wise as well. So he's a guy that really needs it. His program historically at Huset's the last couple of years has been pretty good. I think it was so-so whenever we came here in May, meaning it wasn't as good as it was last year, but still not awful, still competitive. So it's kind of a head scratcher for me. I'm going to be watching him closely tonight, and I think what we see out of him tonight will set the tone for the rest of the week. But we talked to Bill earlier, and I think it was interesting. He said that the good thing about 4 nights is, Dave, if you don't have it, if you don't like what you have the first night, you got 3 nights to try and fix it and get better.
Yeah, we definitely have a good package. We have high hopes. Obviously, you know, we need to win this money. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this thing will do right out of the gate here. And we got 4 days. We got, you know, a couple days that we can, if we're off a little bit, we can probably fix it. I think that's maybe where I have a little bit of an advantage, not really against the 83, but with maybe some of the other competitors. I don't know. I just feel like we can get in a rhythm here and maybe, you know, maybe win some money. You know, I've always said if you can kind of stay inside the top 10 in the features, you know, you can make some money, you can stay up there in points. We kind of haven't been getting that job done. So, yeah, we can improve for sure. We've got, I think, some of the great, you know, the best engines, you know, with HP. We've got great cars. It's just trying to put everything together. Guys have been working hard. It's just I got to do a better job every once in a while. And yeah, definitely not where I want to be in points, but I think we can get back.
And Connor, last but not least, let's talk about Carson Macedo. You know, we mentioned David Gravel doesn't have to worry about points this weekend, can get after it. Carson Macedo didn't have to worry about points this weekend, so how is he changing his program?
Well, you know, we've talked a little bit throughout 2026. We talked about it lengthy during Pitbull during an episode of Pitbull back in February, and we've seen it implemented a little bit, and that's them running a Ford power plant that they've been working on with Kistler, helping to develop. That's Jason Johnson Racing and Kistler the last couple of months, and they've just been waiting on parts for it. They didn't want to, you know, bring it to the racetrack and run it until they were 100% sure that it would be reliable, and they ran it for a couple of shows at Eagle with high limit already in 2026, just testing it out. And with this week being 9 points, they've elected to put it in for the first time in Outlaw competition this for these 4 nights. So, you know, I think they looked at it as an opportunity. Let's face it, the 41, they weren't great here in 2025, and even in 2026 of this year, they weren't incredible that night either. Did not qualify well at all. So they know their program here is off, and they're hoping that this Ford power plant maybe gets them a little bit, helps them find something at this racetrack. You know, I don't know how you know, crucial an engine change is going to be at a place like this. It's a smaller bull ring, but you know, who am I? Philip Dietz and Carson Macedo, I mean, knows something that's that we don't. So I'm interested to see how it does. Obviously, there's been a lot of chatter around Ford's engine program the last couple seasons after Tony Stewart Racing ditched it, Verdeen Racing ditched it. You know, Ford, you got to give them a lot of credit. They haven't stepped out and thrown in the can, you know, thrown in the towel. They've stuck with it. They've made the changes necessary, and they and Kistler and Jason Johnson Racing believe they've got a successful product, you know, at least right now. So interested to see how the 41 does this week. They hope it helps them qualify better. And yeah, no points to lose from it for sure is probably a big factor in making that switch for this week.
Well, thank you very much for that insight. We'll look forward to catching up with you in just a little bit. That, of course, is Connor Wade, who is one half of the dynamic duo that becomes a threesome tonight, as Hall of Famer John Gibson is joined in the booth by a great friend of both the Huset Speedway and DIRTVision. I'm talking about Sean Neistat, that joins pre-race when we return after this.
I've been told my whole life that I'm pretty fast. For a girl. Well, I hate to break it to you, but that's not true. Because with the right team, you write your own story. So no, I'm not fast for a girl. I'm fast, period.
Up for a challenge? How about this? Anything you can do, I can do faster. Okay, bro. I'm gnarlier than you. I get more sideways. I'm louder. Much louder. I get wilder than you. You sure about that, bro?
Harder.
Slicker.
Cooler. Tougher. Let's go.
So what you got?
Twice in its history, Huset Speedway looked like it might disappear forever. First, the racers back in 1958, then Todd Quiring in 2020 have turned what was once a soybean field into a World of Outlaws crown jewel event. Welcome back once again, everybody. You know, in racing, there are no pension plans and no guaranteed paychecks. In fact, a race car driver's retirement plan is often joked about as win enough races, hope you saved enough money. Well, good luck with that. At $300,000 to win, though, on Saturday, that's life-changing money. But let me add a caveat that might make the High Banks finale even more interesting. Well, thanks to a bounty placed on the World of Outlaws, the Huset Speedway is offering an additional $100,000 to any team that isn't full-time with the tour if they can beat the best of the best. That means the High Bank Nationals champion could pocket $400,000, and that, in my mind, is more than enough money to actually call a financial advisor with eyes on a retirement plan. Well, for the Outlaws, the bounty is more than just money. It's about pride. It's their tour, their event, their stage. And no doubt, caught in the crossfire from the outsiders are Sheldon Hodenshield, David Gravel, and two-time defending champ Buddy and Kofoid, who wants to keep $100,000 out of someone else's pocket, while, of course, defending their reputation. A check on the history books, the only non-outlaw in the field who can say they beat the Outlaws at the Huset Speedway during a sanctioned event is Sunshine Tyler Courtney. For those scoring and fact-checking at home, the prelim night of the Huset's finale in 2024 that preceded the flooded-out event. I can hear you already. What about Kyle Larson? Well, yes, he did beat the Outlaws, but he's not entered this year. And the only other potential answer could be Buddy, whose first Outlaw win came when he wasn't even a full-timer. Well, back to Sunshine. Does the Outlaws, he already has an Outlaw win this year as he's topped the full-timers at Tri-State Speedway back in April. Just saying.
Just the purse overall in general is hard for us to drive past. I think, Todd and everyone here at Huset does a good job to keep building that. And yeah, I think you see him at 100,000 in there. If somebody can beat the Outlaws, it's hard to turn that down. And yeah, we're excited to be here. Got to come here on Sunday and, get some laps. We were okay here last year, nothing special, but we've changed some things the last couple weeks to just try and make our program better. So we wanted to come see if it'd work here, and I felt like we were in a really good spot. I feel like the 10 car is, probably one of the cars to beat here this week as well. We're able to keep pace with him, but I think Todd also knows that everyone's chasing the 83 this week. I think it's just hard to deny that fact. Try not to worry about that too much, but obviously sometimes you get in a situation where you got to understand where you're at. But I feel like you got to do that here a little bit later. I think qualifying, it's really hard to sandbag. You just got to go try and lay down as fast lap as you can and go from there on that.
Well, among the other names eligible for the bounty, you'd have to include the defending Knoxville Nationals and Huset Speedway track champion Ryan Timms. Just 3 nights ago, he beat a 42-car field on the high banks. High limit racer Giovanni Scelzi is also a former Huset Speedway winner that has enough speed to beat anyone on a single night. Both veterans, Brian Brown and Kerry Madsen, would have to also be on the short list. Brown, a smart racer, the madman, fearless, especially with that amount of cash up for grabs. And it's at this point we bring in the voice of the Huset Speedway, Sean Neistat, to talk more about the bounty, what it means to the sport, what it means to the Huset Speedway, and of course, what it means to this weekend coming up. Who do you want to talk about first? My guess would be, Ryan Timms.
Yeah, that's probably a really good guess there, Dave. The defending Huset Speedway champion coming off his 13th career victory here at Huset Speedway this past Sunday night, where I think that team really wanted to make a statement, and that's exactly what they did, topping that 42-car field. And former Huset Speedway champions have been to victory lane here at Huset Speedway with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. How about 6-time champion at Huset Speedway, driver of the 13, Mark Dobmeyer, or 8-time champion Terry McCarl? Both of them have topped the Outlaws right here at this racetrack. Dobmeyer has done it twice. Could Ryan Timms be the latest former Huset's champion or reigning Huset's champion to go to victory lane here at the racetrack where they've had success? And as you turn that corner, let's talk about the current season. The year started with a really unique race, but Christopher Traum went to victory lane on that season opener. He's had speed all season long, no matter where they've unloaded their number 24 T car. Got a top 10 finish with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series when they traveled all the way down to compete with them in Texas. Could the current Huset Speedway points leader make a statement at some point this weekend? And does that team from Sanborn, Minnesota dare to dream about what could be either tomorrow night or Saturday?
When we put up that list and was looking through those names, I mentioned some, I didn't mention others, and I'm thinking to myself, who am I going to offend in the process, not mentioning their name? And certainly a big one that comes to mind is the big unit, Austin McCarl. He's certainly capable of making waves, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely. 11 career victories for the Altoona, Iowa native here at Huset Speedway. And really when he was just up and coming as a sprint car driver, made some waves here at Huset as the next coming of following in his dad's footsteps. And he won several $10,000 to win weekly shows here at the Speedway and some year-long qualifier events that if you partook in a certain back-to-front challenge or something throughout the season, you were eligible to win $10,000 at the season finale. And he capped off several season-ending events with a $10,000 payday. And don't forget, he had a lot of speed here to start the season in that Country Builders Construction car number 88. That season opener, he was running in the second spot when the top 4 got tangled up with some traffic. He had led most of that feature. Austin McCarl could be one to watch here this weekend. That team's been building a lot of speed here as of late. They've looked very, very strong at several events. They, too, could be in the hunt to make a splash here. Maybe the 4-time Knoxville Raceway champion cashes in on a 6-figure payday here at Huset's.
How exciting can the action be there? Well, we probably could be talking about Austin McCarl as a track champion there, too. Had other things not intervened. We'll just let that lie right there. But you are surrounded by Todd Quiring, the entire staff there. Obviously, this has been circled on your calendar for as long as the race has been scheduled. What is the feeling like internally heading into this year's Huset's High Bank Nationals weekend?
I think everybody here is really pumped, just like the race fans. The night that the bounty got announced, I was wandering around the infield, and I just happened to go by Todd Quiring, and he had a smirk on his face. And I was like, well, that's something. And I walked over, and I'm like, you're kind of thinking about something. And he's like, yeah, here's what's on my mind. And kind of bounced the idea around, and we talked about it. And I'm like, well, it sounds to me like you're willing to bet $100,000 that somebody with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series is going to come in here and win on Saturday night of the event. And yeah, I don't know if that was what he was thinking at the moment, but that's how I took it. And so we'll have to see how it all plays out. But I think they're really excited. I think the whole team is excited to get back here to the racetrack and get the whole weekend. The regular season here at Huset's, Mother Nature hasn't been playing too kind on our Sunday night shows. We've been joking that we've been getting very good at telling people there's weather coming and it's time to get out. And in fact, we had to do that late this afternoon as well. But I think everyone here is really amped up, really excited to see this high level of sprint car racing right here on a tight bull ring that really, that's where so many of us love to see the sprint cars on the tight racetracks like this one. And this event is still in its infancy. It's still going to continue to grow, but it's given us so many iconic moments over the early years of this event. And maybe, just maybe, this year is another one of those. And I know I keep saying maybe, but right now, Dave, you got to believe that right now is the moment of dreams for these race car drivers. There's 50 entries here tonight. Every one of them is dreaming of not just getting a win with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, but dreaming of what we're calling a life-changing payday. And that's certainly what they could be looking at over the course of the next 4 days.
And who knows, maybe years from now, Todd Quiring will say it was actually your idea to have that little bounty. And of course, a race that's grown already in its infancy still. Who knows how big this one can get? You mentioned the rain. You mentioned the fact that we've had a hard time getting on this racetrack this year. Connor Wade has mentioned there's perhaps some dirt in some new areas. So how do you expect the racetrack to race? And what do you think we can expect at least tonight with this unique format, which of course starts with the all-important time trials and the points that go with that?
It's going to be so difficult for these drivers, and it is with a 6-car invert for the heat races. You've got to perform in qualifying, but then you've got to come out and you've got to make some gains in those heat races to have a great starting spot here early on in the week. And I think it'll be interesting to see just how that shakes out. And there's also an opportunity to learn for these drivers that may not be in the front of the field when we get to that A feature tonight, but an opportunity to learn what their race cars are going to do in this configuration of Huset Speedway in that dirty air. I think that's why we had a handful of invaders here on our weekly show this past Sunday, because the track is shaped a little bit differently. There is more banking on the corner exits. The dirt surface itself, a lot of new dirt was added in this last year, and bringing that up, it seems like the drivers have really liked it. For a good portion of our most recent event here on Sunday night, the track was really slick. The teams and the drivers were really struggling to get a great grip on that racetrack, and I think when the racing, the dirt surface here is in the right state and it's good and slick, the racing here is really second to none. And so looking to see how that all shapes out here tonight is going to be one of those things that could decide who's exactly in victory lane, not just tonight, but all week long. So that is one of the many factors to look at as we get set to go racing for such a huge set of paydays.
Well, you know, maybe it's not a 6-digit payday like it's going to be tomorrow and Saturday, but it's $20,000 is still no chump change. So we look forward to getting that action underway. Can't wait to hear you and Johnny's call. In fact, we are just moments away, so we'll let you get to work. And as we turn to our DIRTVision audience, well, thank you for tuning in to tonight's Huset's High Bank Hustle pre-race show. We're going to step away, but when we come back, it will be time to hit the racetrack. It saw a little rain earlier, but it's going to see some race cars coming up when you return after this commercial break right here on DIRTVision.
This copyrighted DIRTVision broadcast may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or distributed in any form without World Racing Group's written consent. Copyright infringement is a federal crime.
At Pit Boss Jack's, we put in the work in the shop so you can put in your work at the track. Engineering, speed, durability. Pit Boss Jack's, like a boss.
First of 8 race-ready hot lap sessions on the Speedway for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series opening night of the Hefty Seed Huset's Hustle for the greatest show on dirt. Making his way down the backstretch now, the native of North Pole, Alaska, now calling Heartland, Wisconsin home, the Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, Indian Motorcycle of Metro Milwaukee, Bosman Family, Leisure Time Golf Carts, number 17B, the North Pole Nightmare, Bill Baylog.
From Indianapolis, Indiana, and the NOS Energy Drink, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, Spire Motorsports, Brandt Professional Agriculture, Gainbridge, car number 7BC, Sunshine, Tyler Courtney.
And from Grand Forks, North Dakota, behind the wheel of the Buffalo Wild Wings, Lundstrom Motorsports, Dahlstrom Motors, DeKalb Seed, Kylo Trucking, number 13, Dynamite, Mark Dobmeyer.
The 10-time Outlaws champion from Fargo, North Dakota in the nice Cretan Landis block. Absolute automation and security. PhilPools.com, JRC Transportation, High Performance Lubricants, car number 15, Donnie Schatz.
Also on the Speedway at this time from Armour, South Dakota, driving the work well to Rex Winkle Concrete, Central Plains Automation, Votes Repair, Platte Marine Center, number 31, Kobe Workmeister.
Driver from Knoxville, Iowa in the quality striping, State Bank of Fairmont, Buster's Resort, Make It Mine Designs, E3 Motorsports, car number 16, that's Riley Goodnow.
And from T, South Dakota in the Mike McGee and Associates, Lynn's United Auto Glass, Lifestyle Integrations, Indy Power Sports, number 11, that's Justin Henderson. Set to wave the green flag on Race Ready Hot Lap session number 1 after a severe thunderstorm warning and 50-mile-an-hour winds. We're going to wave the green flag. Lap times already in the low 11-second bracket. Justin Henderson going 11:087. Donnie Schatz now into the top 3 with an 11:219. Tyler Courtney in the second spot behind Henderson early on in Race Ready Hot Lap session number 1. Caution flag waves. Used to this by now if you follow the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. We'll do some slow wheel packing and work the moisture into the surface before we come back to conclude Race Ready Hot Lap session number 1. Right now, Justin Henderson is the fastest driver on the Speedway. He's turned in 11:087. Tyler Courtney second quickest at 11:191, and Donnie Schatz third at 11:219. A look at Tyler Courtney, currently second quickest World of Outlaws feature winner here on June 19th of 2024. We often see lap times improve drastically after a few slow laps of wheel packing, so we'll keep an eye on those lap times and see how close we get to track record territory here. Track record at the Houston Speedway set by Terry McCarl on May 10th of 2009 at 10.319 seconds. Another former World of Outlaws feature winner in the field on the Speedway, Mark Dobmeyer in car number 13. Dobmeyer victorious here most recently on July 3rd of 2014. Green flag back in the air for Race Ready Hot Lap session number 1.
So keep the number 11.087 in mind when we look at how much the lap times improve after that quick wheel pack session. Looks to be a good green-white checkered practice session here to conclude.
Lap times actually staying about the same as we saw before the slow wheel packing.
So the first practice session concludes, and there's Justin Henderson, the quickest on the speedway. 11:087, the fastest lap we've seen thus far. Then Tyler Courtney and Donnie Schatz. Sounds like that first group will stay on, do some wheel packing on the top side of the speedway. The next group already making their way onto the racing surface.
First driver out for Race Ready Hot Lap Session number 2 from Warren, Minnesota, the Up North Plumbing Argyle Building Center. Jay Swanson Insurance Agency, Alpha River Tracks number 27W of Weston Olson.
From Hartford, South Dakota, in the Uncle Ed Specialty Meats, Dakota Cub Aircraft, American Truck Store Audio Playground, Sioux Falls, Kenworth, car number 80P, Jacob Peterson.
And from Hanover, Pennsylvania, behind the wheel of the Duramax Federated Auto Parts, Mark Martin Motors, TKS Concrete, Lakeside Dock Sales, number 1S, Logan Schuhart.
From Lonsdale, Minnesota, a Huset Speedway IBEW Rookie of the Year contender in the Brody Racing Engines, GRP Motorsports, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, Engler Machine and Tool, Metalcraft, car number 33, Scotty Brody.
One of the contenders for the Kevin Gobrick Award presented by 5-Star Bodies for Rookie of the Year honors with the World of Outlaws this season from Franklin, Indiana, the WCI Petrie Excavating KPM number 27 of Emerson Axum.
And from Fresno, California, into Chili's, driven to save lives, Gainbridge, Ziegler Auto Group, Carmen Trucking, car number 77, it's Hot Sauce, Giovanni Selzy.
Second of 4 race-ready hot lap sessions for the drivers in Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying here at the Huset Speedway. Giovanni Selzy immediately into the top 5. Jacob Peterson second quick now at 11:108.
So continue to knock on the door of the 10-second bracket here tonight. Weston Olson now 7th fast overall, 11:306.
Checkered flag displayed. That means Race Ready Hot Lap Session number 2 has concluded. Jacob Peterson, the fastest driver in that session, second quickest overall. His lap time 11.108 seconds. Justin Henderson still quickest with that 11.087. Peterson second, Tyler Courtney third, Donnie Schatz fourth, and Giovanni Selzy rounding out the top 5 as we roll the drivers onto the speedway for Race Ready Hot Lap Session number 3.
That one will include from Hartford, South Dakota, in the GNR Controls, Midwestern Mechanical, Beatty Forseth, Lakeside Dock Sales, Classic Corner Convenience Store, car number 8, Jacob Hughes.
And the 2025 World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year from Columbia, Missouri in the SNS Nationwide CSC Group LRI Eagle Stop Easy Gaming, Dave Smith GMC Retrieving Freedom, number 23, Garrett Williamson.
From T, South Dakota, in the Gunderson Racing, Patriot Electric, Royal River Casino, Dammer Trucking, Octane Inc., car number 14H, Matt Jewell.
And from Altoona, Iowa, driving the Country Builders Construction, Achoco West Tucker Trucking, Ophil Family, number 88, the big unit, Austin McCarroll.
And another Huset Speedway Rookie of the Year contender from Tulsa, Oklahoma, the J.B. Henderson Construction, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Smith Titanium, Rainbow Nut Butter, Bob Hurley RV, car number 45X, Reese Moran.
And from Lebanon, Indiana, piloting the NOS Energy Drink, West Tennessee Expediting Tag Truck Center, Z-Max Stanton Racing Engines, number 17, Spencer Baston. Race Ready Hot Lap Session number 3, set to go green on the opening night of the Hefty Seed Huset's Hustle. So once again, we are green with race-ready hot laps at the Huset Speedway. Spencer Baston into the second spot, and Garrett Williamson first into the 10s. Williamson turns a 10.892. Williamson so far the only driver in the 10-second range. Spencer Baston gets a little closer at 11.090. Reese Moran up to 6th quickest as the checkered flag waves on Race Ready Hot Lap session number 3. Fastest driver in that group and now fastest overall in Race Ready Hot Laps, Garrett Williamson in car number 23 at 10.892 seconds. Justin Henderson second quickest at 11.087. Spencer Baston third at 11.090. Jacob Peterson fourth, and Tyler Courtney rounds out the top 5 as the final Race Ready Hot Lap session for the drivers in Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying rolls onto the speedway. They are led out by car number 41. That is the all-by-your alternative MVT Tarleton & Son, Sage family, Scott Boyd family, Complete Parts and Equipment Solutions entry. The driver out of Lemoore, California is Carson Macedo.
And following him in the NOS Energy Drink, Precision Underground Utilities, Iowa Contracting, Royal Flooring, car number 18, from Worcester, Ohio, Sheldon Hodenshield.
From Altoona, Iowa, tonight driving car number 11M. That is Terry McCarl. That is the Knife River Simplot Bosma Family Farms number 11M.
Driver from Higginsville, Missouri, in the Casey's FVP, Andy's Frozen Custard, Impact Signs, Dittsfield Transfer, car number 21, it's Blackjack Brian Brown.
And from Felton, Minnesota, behind the wheel of car number 64, the TDS Trucking Landmark Companies, STP Manufacturing, Slingshot Ropes entry for Andy Pake.
And from St. Mary's, New South Wales, Australia, the TK Concrete, Maxim Trucking and Materials, Logan Contractor Supply, Zip Bonds, Rexco Equipment, car number 55, the Madman, Kerry Madsen.
Green flag set to wave on Race Ready Hot Lap session number 4. Final Race Ready Hot Lap session for Flight A on the Speedway, and Carson Macedo joins Garrett Williamson in the 10s, but Sheldon Hodenshield tops both of them. Sheldon goes at 10.795.
Brian Brown, 6th fast overall, 11.102. Now Carson Macedo quicker at 10.934.
Brian Brown nearly into the 10s at 11.027 as we go checkered on the final Race Ready Hot Lap session for the drivers in Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Sheldon Hodenshield fastest in that group and quickest overall for Flight A, 10.795 seconds for the driver of the number 18. Garrett Williamson, second quickest, 10.892. Carson Macedo, third, 10.934. Fourth quick was Brian Brown at 11.027. Justin Henderson, fifth at 11.087. Then Spencer Baston, sixth quickest. Jacob Peterson, seventh. Kerry Madsen, eighth. Andy Pake, ninth. And Tyler Courtney completes the top 10 as we get set for Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. 1 car at a time on the Speedway, 2 consecutive laps on the clock. Faster of those 2 laps scored as tonight's official qualifying time. We use those qualifying times to line up the heat races this evening with an inversion of 6 in each of our heat races. Also 200 points on the line for the fastest qualifier, dropping by 2 points per position. Points all important here this evening anytime the cars are on the Speedway.
We'll take the top 4 out of each group to go into tonight's redraw. Top 10 in points after our heat races automatically make the A feature from each group. It is time to get into Honest Abe Roofing qualifying.
First driver to make his way trackside, the native of North Pole, Alaska, now calling Heartland, Wisconsin home. Drives the Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup Indian Motorcycle of Metro Milwaukee. Bosma Family Farms Leisure Time Golf Carts number 17B. It's the North Pole Nightmare Bill Baylog. Bill Baylog in car number 17B. Picked up his first Huset's World of Outlaws win in June last year. First lap time 7.94, 10, 7.94, 1.07.94 for Bill Baylog. Second lap time for the North Pole Nightmare, 10.844. First lap official, 10.794 seconds.
From Grand Forks, North Dakota, this is the Buffalo Wild Wings, Dahlstrom Motors, Decal Seats, Kylo Trucking, Senske & Son transfer car number 13. The driver is Dynamite, Mark Dobmeyer. Dobmeyer, a 6-time champion here at Huset Speedway. Lap number 1 is a 10.818, 70 career victories here at Huset's for Dynamite, 2 of those with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Checker flag for Dobmeyer. Lap number 2 is an 11.038. He'll take the 10.818.
Green flag waving for the next Honest Abe Roofing qualifier from Knoxville, Iowa, in the Quality Striping State Bank of Fairmont Busters Resort Make It Mine Designs E3 Motorsports number 16, Riley Goodnow. Riley Goodnow in the 16. His opening lap was a 10.948, 10.948. Riley Goodnow here at the Huset Speedway, third with the World of Outlaws in 2022. His career best with the series. Second lap time is at an 11.057. First lap official at 10.948.
Here's a driver from Armour, South Dakota. It's the Workwell, Brexminkle Concrete, Central Plains Automation, Village Repair, Platte Marine Center, number 31. It's Kobe Workmeister. Kobe Workmeister in the 31. Lap number 1 is an 11.114. Best finished so far this season is a 20th place showing. 2022 National IMCA Sprint Car Rookie of the Year. Lap number 2 for Workmeister slows to an 11.569. 11.114 is his official time.
This is the 10-time World of Outlaws champion from Fargo, North Dakota. In the nice Queen Atlantis block, Absolute Automation and Security, PhilPools.com, JRC Transportation, High Performance Lubricants, number 15, Donnie Schatz. Donnie Schatz in car number 15, lap 1 for Schatz. Quick time! 10.782, 10.782 on lap number 1 for the 6-time Huset's feature winner. Second lap time for Donnie Schatz is an 11.021 for the first lap. Quickest so far at 10.782.
That brings us to a T South Dakota-based driver in the Mike McGee & Associates, Lynn's United Auto Glass, Lifestyle Integrations, Indy Power Sports, number 11. It's Justin Henderson. Justin Henderson in 11. He'll flash under the white flag, stops the clock. Second fast, 10.792, 10.792. 30 career victories here at Huset Speedway, where Henderson is a 3-time track champion. Lap number 2, quick time at a 10.698.
Next driver to see the green flag from Indianapolis, Indiana. Driving the NOS Energy Drink, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Cartspire Motorsports, Brandt Professional Agriculture, Gamebridge, number 7 BC, Sunshine, Tyler Courtney. Tyler Courtney in the 7 BC. Opening lap for Courtney is 7th quick at 11.296, 11.296. Picked up a Hustle preliminary win 2 years ago. That's the best of his 9 career appearances here at the Huset Speedway. Second place here Sunday night. He's up to 5th quick on lap 2 at a 10.890, 10.890.
Scotty Brody, the next to clock in. He's out of Lonsdale, Minnesota in car number 33. That's the Brody Racing Engines, GRP Motorsports, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, Engler Machine and Tool, Metalcraft entry. Lap number 1 is an 11.128, 11.128. Best finish here at Huset's for Scotty Brody is a 7th place showing on July 27th of last season. Lap number 2 is an 11.229. He'll take the 11.128.
From Warren, Minnesota, in the Up North Plumbing Argyle Building Center, Jay Swanson Insurance Agency, Alpha Rubber Tracks, number 27W, Weston Olson. Weston Olson in the 27W. Opening lap for Olson, 11.198, 11.198. Best finish here this season, 18th on opening night, May 10th. Picked up a NOSA sprint car win at the Nodak Speedway. Second lap time is an 11.052, 11.052.
Next to take time from Fresno, California, the Chili's, Driven to Save Lives, Gamebridge, Ziegler Auto Group, Carmen Trucking, car number 77 of Hot Sauce, Giovanni Selzi. Gio Selzi in the 77. Lap number 1 is 6th fast, a 10.912, 10.912. One victory here at Huset Speedway for Selzi. That was on May 22nd of 2022. And lap number 2, quicker, a 10.904.
Rolling to the green flag now from Hanover, Pennsylvania, the Duramax Federated Auto Parts, Mark Martin Motors, TKS Concrete, Lakeside Dock Sales, number 1S. Here's Logan Schuhart. Logan Schuhart in the 1S. Opening lap time for Schuhart is an 11.054, 11.054. Finished 10th here on Memorial Day weekend. Picked up a feature win in 2023 with the World of Outlaws here at Huset's. Second lap time is better. It's 11 seconds flat, 11.000.
On the clock now from Hartford, South Dakota, in the Uncle Ed Specialty Meets, Dakota Cub Aircraft, American Truck Store, Audio Playground, Sioux Falls, Kenworth, car number 80P. It's Jacob Peterson. Opening lap for Peterson is 7th fast, a 10.918, Finished 5th here on May 10th, his best ever 410 sprint car finish at Huset Speedway. Lap number 2, quicker, 5th fast at a 10.843.
Making his way to the green flag now from Franklin, Indiana, the WCI Petrie Excavating KPM number 27 of Emerson Axum. Emerson Axum in the 27. Third place here in 2024, his best in 4 World of Outlaws starts here at Huset. His opening lap, second quick at a 10.750. 1.0750 on lap number 1 for Emerson Axum. Second lap time is faster, still second in the order, 10.745, 1.0745.
From Hartford, South Dakota, this is the GNR Controls, Midwestern Mechanical, Beatty Forsyth, Lakeside Dock Sales, Classic Corner Convenience Store, car number 8 of Jacob Hughes. Jacob Hughes in the number 8. His opening lap is 9th fast at a 10.915, 1.0915. 2022 Huset Speedway IMCA Sprint Car Champion. Also has 5 micro sprint car wins at this facility. Lap number 2 is an 11.122, 10.915 the time for Jacob Hughes.
From Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the J.B. Henderson Construction, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Smith Titanium, Rainbow Nut Butter, Bob Hurley RV, number 45X, Reese Moran. Reese Moran in the 45X, his first lap time 7th quick at a 10.886, 1.0886. Reese Moran's 10th place finish here Sunday, the best of his 2 career starts at the Huset Speedway. Second lap time for Moran is an 11.007, first lap better at 10.886.
That brings us to the SNS Nationwide, CSC Group, LRI, Eagle Stop, Easy Gaming, Dave Smith, GMC, Retrieving Freedom, car number 23. The driver from Columbia, Missouri is Garrett Williamson. Opening lap for Williamson, second fast, 10.737, 1.0737. 3 career Huset Speedway victories for Williamson. Lap number 2 is a 10.772, 10.737, his official time.
Making his way to the green flag now from Altoona, Iowa, in the Country Builders Construction, Ochoco West Tucker Trucking, Oakville family number 88, the big unit, Austin McCarl. Austin McCarl in car number 88. Opening lap time for McCarl, second quick at a 10.726, 1.0726. 11 career victories here at Huset, wins this season in Davenport and Knoxville, Iowa. Second lap is a 10.843, first lap second quickest, 10.726.
Next to take time is from Lebanon, Indiana, the NOS Energy Drink, West Tennessee Expediting, Tag Truck Center, ZMAX, Stanton Racing Engines, number 17. It's Spencer Baston. Spencer Baston in the 17. Opening lap, 13th fast, 10.938, 1.0938. Baston with a victory here at Huset on June 22nd of 2022. Lap number 2 will improve up to the 9th spot at a 10.873.
Your next driver to clock in from T, South Dakota, the Gunderson Racing, Patriot Electric, Royal River Casino, Dammer Trucking, Octane Inc., number 14H, Matt Jewell. Matt Jewell in the 14H on lap 1, 11.184, 1.1184. 19th with the World of Outlaws here back in May. Best finish here this season, a 6th place on opening night. Second lap time for Matt Jewell up to an 11.126, 1.1126.
Here's the NOS Energy Drink, Precision Underground Utilities, Iowa Contracting, Royal Flooring, car number 18 from Worcester, Ohio. It's Sheldon Hodenshield. Sheldon Hodenshield in car number 18. Opening circuit. 8th fast, 10.825, 1.0825. 3 career victories here at Huset, 2 of those during the High Bank Nationals, including 1 6-figure payday. Hodenshield on lap number 2 will move up to the 5th spot at a 10.770.
Next on the State Roofing qualifier from St. Mary's, New South Wales, Australia, in the TK Concrete, Maxim Trucking, Logan Contractor Supply, Zip Bonds, number 55, the Madman, Kerry Madsen. Kerry Madsen in car number 55. He's been third on 2 occasions here with the World of Outlaws. His first lap tonight is 15th quick at a 10.918, 1.0918. Best World of Outlaws finish this year, 9th at Volusia Speedway Park. Second lap time for the Madman is an 11.013. First lap official at 10.918.
From Higginsville, Missouri, this is the Casey's FVP, Andy's Frozen Custard, Impact Signs, Dittsfield Transfer, car number 21 of Blackjack, Brian Brown. Brian Brown in car number 21. First appearance here at Huset's for the season. Lap number 1, 11th fast, 10.876, 108.76. One career victory at Huset's for Brian Brown. That was in 2015 with the National Sprint League. Lap number 2 for Brown is a 11.097.
Next to clock in from Lemoore, California, the all-by your alternative MVT, Tarleton & Son, Sage Family, Scott Boyd Family, Complete Parts and Equipment Solutions, number 41, Carson Macedo. Carson Macedo in car number 41. Opening lap for Macedo is a 10.941, 10941. That is 17th in the order. With the KSE Hard Charger Award winner here back in May with the World of Outlaws. Second lap time for Macedo. Much better, 10th quick at a 10.862, 10862.
Right now, Riley Goodnow on that heat invert bubble as we turn our attention to the driver from Altoona, Iowa, the Knife River Simplot, Trusted Tire and Auto Finance Supercenters, GRP Motorsports, Bosma Family Farms 11M. It's the Huset Speedway Hall of Famer, T-Mac, Terry McCarl. Lap number 1 is 20th fast, 11.037, 11037. Winningest driver in this track's history, 102 trips to victory lane for Terry McCarl at Huset's. Lap number 2 quicker, 11.013.
Final Honest Abe Rubin qualifier for Flight A. From Dalton, Minnesota, the TDS Trucking, Landmark Companies, SQP Manufacturing, Slingshot Ropes, number 64, Andy Pake. Andy Pake in car number 64. His opening lap time will be in 11.117, 11.117. Andy Pake's best finish here, third this past Sunday. Second lap time for Pake up to 19th quick at a 10.993, 10993. That will conclude Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. The fastest driver in Flight A, Justin Henderson in car number 11. His lap time 10.698 seconds.